Hey guys, welcome here. I'm back with another video. I want to share with you guys a bunch of things that I don't buy at the store and just preference-wise prefer to make it at home. This could be for price, ingredients. I have two other videos similar or the exact same thing as this where I share with you guys a bunch of food that, I make at home. So much of the time it's more affordable and 100% of the time it's much better for you. And thank you. My kids will be popping in and out as I go about my day. I got ranch, barbecue sauce, chocolate sauce. It's a little saucy, this one. Some breads and more. So I hope that you enjoy. My recipe website is linked down below if you want to check it out. And some of my favorite sourdough things and quick, easy recipes to make. This is gonna be my pita, and you are just gonna tear apart my kitchen while I do this. This is gonna be my sourdough pita in a little bit here. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. I quickly realized that if you have organic cane sugar, white sugar, you can get these huge bags of organic cane sugar from Costco for super cheap, like something like 10 bucks. It's amazing and it really is the best sugar. It's not bleached. It's awesome. But if you have regular white cane sugar, you have the ability to also make, well, not only icing sugar, but what I'm going to show you here is brown sugar. There are a number of reasons why I encourage you to make brown sugar at home. The first reason is that it's really simple. It literally is just cane sugar and molasses. I use unsulfured organic molasses. Any molasses will do. It's pretty much 1,000 grams of white sugar to 55 grams of molasses. Put it all together, mix it together with a fork, and then use your hands to really break down the molasses. The warmth of your fingers also helps with the mixing, but making brown sugar at home will yield a sugar to your taste preference. So if you like a dark brown sugar, just add more molasses. If you like it lighter, reduce the amount of molasses that you're using. It also just tastes better, and it is very soft and fresh. I also noticed that we're saving a little bit of money by making our own brown sugar, and it takes minutes to make. This yields about 6 cups. You can make as much or as little as you like. I have my clay sugar saver. You pretty much, it's a clay item. You soak it in some water and then you dry it off and you can put it into your sugars. It helps with any clumping. It encourages moisture through the sugar. And that is how I make brown sugar. That's something I really wanted to make today, and I didn't have to buy it at the store. Next is chocolate syrup. This chocolate syrup is good to make hot chocolate, chocolate milk. It's amazing to add into coffee if you want to make a bit of a mocha. It's also really good over ice cream. And this is something I like to actually have on hand at all times. It's so easy to make. It's 1 cup of sugar, half a cup of unsweetened Dutch cocoa, a pinch of salt. You're going to mix that together really good, kind of break up some of those clumps. And then you're going to add in some cold water. I'm using half a cup of cold water. You can use more or less depending on how thick you want it. I'm going to bring this up on the stove at about a medium heat. Really let that sugar dissolve, melt down, add in a little bit of vanilla here too. And then once it's quite cooled down, just transfer it into a jar. It stays in the fridge for, I've noticed, about a month in a airtight container, and it is so convenient to have on hand. It isn't full of anything nasty, no preservatives, and it's delicious. There's no gluten, no dairy in here. It's just really good stuff that you can feel good about enjoying yourself and then also giving your kids. Sponsoring this portion of today's video, and honestly for making me feel my best when I really feel my worst. I'm someone that has maybe, you would say, a finicky body. Certain foods, really think along the lines of like dairy, gluten products. They can do a number on my gut and my stomach, and I can be in a lot of pain. And because of that, I use Array Bloat pretty much immediately because it has natural digestive enzymes in here that will help gluten and dairy in my body break down. There's been a handful of times recently where I've gone out of the house and gotten a coffee asking for oat milk. They give me not oat milk. I get cow's milk, I start drinking it, I go wait, and it's a little bit too late to take a step back, and that is when I take Array right away, like right after I have it. 2 to 3 capsules, and it works in seriously under an hour to prevent bloating. In here, there's a blend of 5 herbs and 1 fruit-based digestive enzyme that is going to work quickly and be very effective. In here, there's ginger root. It's gonna help with nausea and that upset stomach feeling. Bromelain, which actually comes from pineapple, is gonna help your gut absorb nutrients. Lemon balm, which is also going to help your gut relax. Dandelion root, which will help to remove excess water in your body, and it also improves liver health. Peppermint to help with PMS cramping and gas, and slippery elm, which is going to help clear out any toxins in your stomach lining and give you a better gut. And on top of using their bloat, I also use their constipation. If I just need to get things moving, this is what I take. Bloat in itself is clinically proven to reduce your bloating by up to 86% and can release all IBS symptoms up to 74%. Right now, Array is offering you 15% off your first order plus 4 free travel packs. All you gotta do is go to the link in my description and use code SHOPYTSarahTherese to get that 15% off. And I'm literally gonna take some of the bloat right now because I had cheese about 10 minutes ago and my belly's not gonna be happy unless I take some of these. So I usually work with a lot of just honestly organic white flour, but I realized I had so much whole wheat and I have been making whole wheat breads like crazy. And I looked at whole wheat at the store and some of them actually have caramel coloring in them to encourage that brown color. Mine obviously doesn't have that. I'm going to link my recipe down below for this, but it is not a whole wheat recipe, so listen closely. In my soft sourdough sandwich loaf recipe, it says 3.5 cups of white flour. What I do when I need to make it whole wheat is do 2 cups of white flour and then 1.25 cups of whole wheat flour. If I were you, I would just start with 1 cup of whole wheat flour and then with that 2 cups of white flour. And then if you need to add more, do it. Some whole wheat can be a little bit more dry. Some are quite equivalent to a white flour. But I'm going to shape my whole wheat loaf, put it aside, let it rise. I'm also moving my pita into that greased bowl. I'm gonna let that sit a little bit and I'm gonna make some barbecue sauce. This is something recent for me. I actually still have a bottle of barbecue sauce that was given to us in my fridge, but I was looking at the ingredients and I was like, I just don't like this. I don't like the artificial colors. I don't like these weird flavors I can't pronounce, and I don't like the amount of sucralose throughout it. So I have it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that bottle, but I decided to really learn how to make my own, and it's simple, it's easy, and it tastes really, really good. So I had some tomato sauce that I made. It was in the freezer, so I cut off a chunk of it, put it into a saucepan, and to it I'm adding a variety of things: soy sauce, sesame oil, some molasses, garlic powder, mustard powder, smoked paprika, liquid smoke, sea salt, some maple syrup. I'm gonna add a variety of things. So with barbecue sauce, I realized, and apple cider vinegar right here. I realized that if you just start adding in things that are very brown, I'm adding in balsamic, it turns out really good. The color we're going for is reddish brown. So adding in your browns and your reds throughout your kitchen and your spices will yield a really yummy barbecue sauce. So I'm mixing this all up. I'm having it on a low heat. I realized I want this to be a little bit thicker. So I will do a variety of thickening agents depending on what I'm making, but particularly for barbecue sauce, I decide to sift in some cornstarch because I want it to be a little bit more, I can't think of a better word, but goopy. I feel like for this entire voiceover, my voice is really calm and mellow, and it's just because it's the evening and I'm tired. But I'm going to make some ranch. You can make ranch at home. It's really affordable, and you can make it with just the good stuff. So I'm going to do about half parts of homemade mayonnaise, half parts sour cream, and then add in my flavor. So that's lemon juice, that's a little bit of miso. I like putting some miso paste in, but that's optional. Some garlic powder. I like the herbs thyme, dill, and parsley for ranch, and then adding in some smoked paprika because I think it's really yummy. If you want something more sour cream forward, put more sour cream. If you like the mayonnaise, put in more mayonnaise. I always encourage people, lick your fingers. Try your stuff, lick your fingers, see how you would change it. Would you add something? Remember, it's easier to add than take away. So salt slowly, spice slowly, and that's our ranch. So usually we enjoy ranch with things like pizza, veggies, and sometimes even on sandwiches because, ranch goes with almost everything. My barbecue sauce has cooled a little bit, so I feel good about putting it into my jar. My jar is going to go right into the fridge. So usually when I do at-home things, I'm not a huge canner. P.S. I'm not into it. It's not my thing. I've done it, and I'm just not crazy about it yet. I also have young kids, so I find I don't have long periods of time to do stuff. I have short periods of time. So what I do is I make something, put it in a jar. It lasts me for 2 weeks, 1 month, 6 months in the fridge, and that's exactly what I need. And that's just the stage of life I'm at right now. For my bread, I'm buttering it. I'm getting it to bake. And now I'm just checking out my bone broth. I really, really like bone broth. I never buy bone broth because I will usually have a chicken carcass or skins or something that I can use to make my own bone broth. Bone broth at the store is also really expensive, and I've noticed there's a lot of added ingredients that I just don't want to have. And this is the easiest and cheapest way for me to have bone broth at home. I have put, I think it was 2 chicken carcasses with like some meat and bones that were left over into the pot. I had it simmer overnight. It was simmering for about, let's say, 24 hours. I'm going to strain all of the stuff out of it so it's just a nice thin broth. I'm going to salt it really well and make this into a yummy, hearty chicken noodle soup for tonight. And that's another thing. If you have a really nice bone broth, you can create your own soups at home. You don't have to buy cans of soup or a soup mix because honestly, that's your foundation, is a really nice broth. And from there, you're just adding in some spices, a protein, maybe some noodles, veggies. For my whole wheat bread loaf, I'm just putting some more butter on top, and I'm also putting a towel on top. I let that sit for about an hour. The butter and the heat and the steam helps to soften the crust, and then I'm able to slice it. Previous video, I said in order to buy a similar type of bread from the store, it would cost me between $6 to $8. But to make it at home, a loaf of bread cost me about $1.50, which is amazing. It tastes really good, and I also just enjoy the process of making homemade bread. Speaking of, let's talk about pita. So my mom taught me how to make pita when I was a little girl, and I loved the process of making pita, and I still do. This is sourdough, chewy pita. This is not a pita pocket. This is not like a flat pita or like a naan. This is just very much a chewy, soft, round, puck-like pita. I have been enjoying not using flour for these because I like a bit of the crispness that the olive oil gives. So I basically just kind of form it into a flat, using the olive oil to press it down. I'm not too scared about losing bubbles here because it puffs up quite nicely on my cast iron, and I'm able to do this easily, quickly. I also love that I'm not using flour and a rolling pin. I just find it can get so messy. So this is simple, and the olive oil adds such a good flavor and texture to these. because they get so puffy and the dough can be a little bit dense, I do like to let these sit for quite a bit on a bit of a low heat to let it cook through really well. And we serve these with anything and everything. It's awesome with hummus. It's awesome as a side. My kids like taking them, opening them up, and actually toasting them because they're almost like an English muffin. Like that's what you can really get from these, which is fun. And again, that flavor is just top notch. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching and being here. I want to let you know that it's taken me years and years to slowly start making more stuff at home. I don't want you guys to watch these videos and go, oh man, I don't make that at home. Oh, I don't make that at home. I'm not making these videos so you can check off things that you are or aren't making at home, but I like to inspire you, maybe encourage you. And it's not that any of these are the right way. It's just that this is what works for us and our family. And this is what I really, really enjoy. P.S. Add barbecue sauce to your soups. It just makes that flavor pop. It's amazing. But yeah, it's taken me a long time to actually even just mentally go through my kitchen and see what I can make at home. So be super gracious with yourself, give yourself time, and enjoy being in the kitchen. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Check out my other very similar videos linked down below, and I will see you later. Bye.